welcome to What Are We Doing? I am your normal host, and there's half of your normal hosts here today because Caleb is somewhere in an undisclosed location, and you'll never find him. It's my basement. So we have Mike, who is normally on the ones and twos, in front of the camera today. So huge golf clap for Mike.
Golf clapping for you.
Is a huge golf clap a normal clap?
That's a great question.
Can I give you another question?
Give it to me.
So Jake, my friend from work,
Mm-hmm.
I made a joke about how Virgin Long Islands were hitting, and I was starting to feel something. And he said, would a Virgin Long Island just be Coke or just be tea? Because there isn't any tea in a Long Island.
Uh-huh.
Iced tea, right?
Yeah.
It is in the name.
But there's no, right.
Right.
Has he ever had a Long Island before?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he did. Okay. And he's,
I'm heavy assuming.
This whole time he's thought there's been
Oh
tea?
no. He knows. But the name is iced tea. Long Island iced tea.
So does he think by if you're having a Virgin Long Island iced tea, then they're adding tea into it?
It would he's saying would it just be tea or would it just be Coke? And I before you start pooping on him, it makes a ton of sense.
No, I'm not. It does, absolutely. I'm just trying to wrap my brain
literally
around
it's
it.
in the name.
Right.
Actually, this discussion happened while I was at your wedding.
Oh.
Happy wedding.
Thank you.
It's
Was he?
he was not there.
I didn't think so.
Nope, he wasn't there.
Just checking.
Nope.
Just making sure. Just making you were.
I was there. Had a great time. It's a sick wedding. It's to my knowledge that you went to the Cancun.
We did indeed go to the Can of the Coons.
How'd you do down there?
Good.
Was it in the same time zone?
Sure was. Caleb. Same time zone. Same, in fact, time zone.
Exact same time zone.
Believe it or not. Actually, you know what? I wish I still had the flight map because before we flew down there, even on the plane we flew first class, which was sick.
Wow.
I didn't pay for it. Well, that's a lie.
Okay.
I did pay for it. I did not choose it, I should say.
Sure.
But the back of the seats had like full-on screens. You could watch movies and do stuff like that. But you could also pull up the flight map.
Oh, cool. Yep.
It is a straight shot out of O'Hare.
Dude, I told you.
I mean, I believed you because I also knew it was the same time zone. But it was
such a weird thing for me to lie about.
You went straight down, and for whatever reason, I don't know why. I'm assuming how they have to land at the airport in Cancun. You literally were straight shot the entire time, and then right at the end of it, you just took a little quick right-hand turn and then back left. It's a little zigzag.
Yeah.
That was the only not.
You were flying south, and the landing zone was east to west.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Or west to east.
I don't know. All I know is that when I flew to Cancun, we were in the air, and I don't know if the guy was like up in the clouds and he didn't know where Cancun was or something, but we were literally got like directly over it, and then he just free fell. Like so fast. I've never been on a plane where I've heard everybody complain all at the same time about something.
Okay, yeah.
You know? And it was a pretty common consensus that everybody's ears were shattered.
Just eardrums exploded.
I literally, I'm pretty good about, if I feel, if I'm at the dentist and they're, filling a cavity or something like that, and I'm in a ton of pain, I will grip the seat until the arm falls off. I will not tell them. I will not say anything. I'm gonna grind it out until it's over. Mm-hmm. I was to the point where I was like, I don't know if I'll ever hear again. I mean, it was bad enough that the entire time we were in Cancun, my ears never popped. They did not pop until we landed back in Chicago.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it sucked.
Ours, so that was only. We didn't have anything like that happen. It was a little sketchy when we'd landed, coming home, because there were I think they said 20-mile-an-hour winds in Chicago with like 35-mile-an-hour gusts.
Love it.
And the entire no, the entire time we were landing, you could just, I mean, you could be like sitting there, and I know it's probably the same way for everybody. You could feel the pilots like struggling.
Love that.
Because it was the entire time like you couldn't tell, but the entire time you knew the plane was just doing this.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean.
The turbulence sign is on the entire time.
Yeah, the seatbelt sign was on.
Yeah,
early
yeah.
And a little extra.
Yeah.
And like you know how it's annoying when people clap on airplanes.
Like
nobody clapped. I wanted to.
Yeah.
I was like,
well, that's always a
job, guys, because
it's always a weird thing, like for me, because like it is their job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you were in an Uber and he got you to your place safely, you're not just going to start, like, hey, man, that stellar job, buddy. You got us all the way. Like, yeah, it's my job.
Right. I got paid to do this.
I'm literally employed. Or, like, a bus driver gets you to the next stop, and you're like, hey, man, that was... Like...
It's just like... Thanks, man.
Right.
Speaking of
Uber.
We had to Uber from O'Hare to the parking garage where we parked.
Yeah.
Our driver.
How far of a drive was it?
30 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, not awesome.
Sucks.
And rush hour.
And it was probably only 12 miles.
Yeah, something. Yeah, it was seriously. It was just.
Chicago sucks.
Yeah.
I hate
Chicago. If you're from Chicago, move. Because that city is worthless.
Yeah.
Anywho, our Uber driver.
You are?
Yeah.
Our?
Michael.
Michael.
Our Uber driver was from Albania.
Okay.
He said he lived in Chicago for 9 years.
Uh-huh.
Still has the thickest Albanian accent
I've
ever heard because he's the only Albanian guy I've ever met. But he was a G. Like,
what? I mean, yeah.
Talked to us the whole time. Like, was this? It was
Do you like that?
Normally, no. So, like in Mexico, we had a private transfer from the airport to the resort, and the resort back to the airport.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just because obviously language barrier, but like both of our drivers spoke English a little bit. So like we had conversations with them for the first like 5 minutes of the trip, and then it was just awkward silence the rest of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also like a 25-minute drive.
Mm-hmm.
Those were like, whatever. This one was fine because it was like we talk for 5 or 6 minutes, and then it'd be quiet for like 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we talk again. So it was fine. But we got on a topic talking about autistic people.
Wow.
Because he was telling us that he saw a TikTok of this autistic Mexican girl whose IQ was higher than Einstein's.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And then, I kid you not, for the next 5 minutes, he was having me Google Einstein, Nikola Tesla, Da Vinci, because he's like, all of them, just off the rip, he's like, autistic, Google it. That's all he would say. It's like, so I'm back there behind him Googling this, and obviously, like, we don't know if they were autistic or not, but he hit the nail on the head. Everybody was like, everything said, like, they assumed.
Google's like, what are you trying to do, build a dream team?
Yeah. Could you imagine that team?
That is crazy. So I have a guy that I follow on TikTok, and he starts every video with like, "Hi, this is my name, and my autistic superpower is that I'm really good at golf."
I know exactly who you're talking about.
And he's like, he literally is like a machine.
Yeah.
Like he's so every single swing is like the exact same perfect. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah. Okay, so that same guy, did you, before he started doing his golfing videos, did you see the ones that he would do, like, of him acting with his kid? You didn't see that?
No.
Same guy. Before he...
I probably just got it on golf TikTok, because...
Probably. But, like, I saw some of his videos of that before. Like, he would act out funny stories he had with his toddler. And then he, afterwards, he was like, I'm autistic. And I think, don't quote me on this, but I think a lot of people at first didn't believe him.
That's sad.
Because they thought that he was maybe, like... Just his videos weren't doing good, so he's like, I'm going to try and reach this audience.
Yeah.
Which, like...
Also, if you do that, you're a bum. That's terrible.
Correct.
But, like, no, it is sad.
Yeah.
Like, if people have any sort of,
disability
at all, I mean, yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
So,
You have that.
how's married life? What's
Awesome.
different?
Not a lot.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, you know that Jen and I, we've been together for 7 years.
Yeah.
So, like, it kind of felt like we were already married.
I
in a
mean,
way.
Right. Yeah, no, I get
Like,
it. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like, the boring stuff changes, like, insurance and
Yay.
her, like, she has to change everything.
Big yay. Maddie, they have not sent her a new license yet, still.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's good.
We did it, like, the week we got back from Cancun.
Yeah, she hasn't started anything, because, like, we got back on Tuesday night.
Yeah, so it's been, like, 2 days.
Yeah. It's like, but the only thing we did was submit our marriage license.
Yeah.
So, but there's actually, which I don't know, Maddie's probably too far gone. Like, she's probably already started changing stuff and whatnot. But I can't remember. There's a kit that like you can buy, for like
Really?
$80, that has literally everything, like all this stuff you have to change your name on.
Yeah.
It's in this little box they send you,
Dang.
and you fill everything out and just send the box and taken care of.
That's
all she
not
wrote.
bad. We might look into that.
Yeah. So like I think we're gonna do that just because
That would be
it's
worth
easy.
it. That would be
'Cause
so
you're gonna
worth it.
have to go pay
Right.
probably more than that. Like I think it's like $90. Pay more than that 90 to take care of everything.
Yeah.
So
Well, even if you, like, just calculate, I know it's a little bit less for you, but, like, for me, gas,
gas.
driving to the different places,
Yeah.
like,
and however
we've
much do you
made-
value your time.
I can
Sure.
think on one, like, just very quick thinking about it, I know we've made over 5 trips to Pekin about it.
Yeah.
Which is,
Not fun.
probably 40 to 50-ish miles round trips. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you probably well burned through a tank of
to go,
gas.
yeah, right. So
So I think we're gonna do that. But yeah, not a lot's changed. I mean,
yeah, get ready to answer every single person you talk to for the next until you have a kid, probably. I'm assuming is when it's going to change. Every single person is going to ask you that.
oh yeah, how's married life?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
The only thing I'm hoping, like,
it's like
I'm
when
hoping our
someone's like,
families
"Oh,
aren't-
happy birthday! You feel any older?" And you're like,
yeah, actually,
"No."
yes,
Yeah, every day.
every day. I woke up today, my ankle hurts.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you why. Just moved, and I was like, ow. Seriously.
I got out of bed the other day. And I stood up and I got up on my tippy toes, and my ankles both went pop pop, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
I like
What is happening?
yeah, I like low-key kind of got into a squat because like I don't know if I'm gonna like when I put my ankles back down, I don't know if they're connected anymore.
Oh.
So you
What you got?
you're a firefighter.
Correct.
Tell me what that's like, because I've never been a firefighter before. That's a lie. I've been a firefighter before.
Yeah. Which one?
But I mean, your day to day. Let the people know what it's like to be a firefighter.
Okay. Well,
You work every single day?
no.
Oh.
Fun fact. I work every third day.
'Kay.
For the entire day. So we'll just
24.
Yeah, 24 on and then 48 off. So work 1 day, 2 days off, and then every
What do you like that? Do you hate that?
love it.
Love it?
Love it.
Because you get 2 days off.
Correct. And every once in a while, I have what's called a Kelly day, which is a scheduled paid day off. So I get 5 days off.
That's hot.
Yes,
I
it
mean,
is.
That's
very nice.
that's a full work week of not working.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it falls on it too, where like I'll work Sunday and then I have Monday through Friday off.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's
Doesn't happen often
that
'cause I
happens. How often Kelly days happen?
I think for us, it changed. I think each department can be different, but for us, I think it's every like 15 work days or 16 work days.
Oh, that's not bad.
No.
So
So and it's nice too, because like obviously throughout that time you're working your normal shift, and then if overtime gets to you, you take overtime. So you could, I mean, I could work, 4 48s
yeah.
plus my other normal shift days in that 15-day span.
So you work there. You go in at what time?
Our like technical hours are 7 a.m. to 7 a.m., but it's unwritten rule you're there by 6:20, 6:30, just so that you can
Relieve
relieve the guy that
Yep.
is getting off in the morning, and then he can kind of give you a rundown of the day before, like let you know if they had any serious calls, what they used on it, if anything was wrong with the truck,
Makes
all
sense.
that fun stuff.
So you gotta like eat there, sleep there.
Mhm. We live there for, I mean, every third day.
You just bring a tent, sleep on the floor.
No, we got beds.
What kind of beds you got?
Tempur-Pedic.
Stop it.
Yes, sir.
So you probably got a better bed at work than you do at home.
Yeah.
That probably makes Jenna so happy that you get to go to work
I
and
remember, like-
sleep so well
Like the first time, like
when you get to sleep.
yeah. Well,
And how often does that happen? How often does it happen that you actually get it like to sleep the whole night?
at my station, because I will say, like, I am at the quote unquote slower station. It's
Am
like
I
it's
allowed-
nice.
Am I allowed to tell the people who are listening what station you work at?
I don't care.
So if you're in Pekin and you're by like B-Dubs or McDonald's or whatever, it's that station right there.
Yeah.
So that way, if you are ever driving by there, you can say, "What up, Mike?"
Yeah. A little toot toot.
Yeah, a little beep bop.
Um, people do it all the time.
Yeah, people do that to me all the time at work.
Yeah.
They'll like, I'll be walking across the street.
Guilty.
Yeah, and I'm like, "How you going?"
Yeah. No idea who it was.
I don't know who you are.
No, I remember like, so like when I got, so it's for me it's a little different because like Jenna growing up, which he was at the wedding too. She had a family friend growing up whose dad is a Pekin firefighter. My uncle is a Pekin firefighter.
Okay.
And, like I worked for AMT, the ambulance company in Pekin, so like I got to know a good amount of the guys before I got hired, and like tested, not thinking I was gonna get hired, really just because like when you start testing for fire departments, you test all over the place.
Yeah.
Because the chances of you getting hired your first time are slim. Because
Yeah.
like it's not like you pass everything and they go, okay, here's your job
Right.
offer.
Yeah.
You get put on a list. Because like there's preference points for hiring. So like if you have your paramedic license, if you live in the city, if you have any college, like all those will get you additional points. It can put you higher on the list.
Right. And then
So-
people have to like be remove themselves or be removed from the current roster. Right?
Correct. Like for you to get, unless like they are short guys.
Yeah.
Normally someone has to retire, either retire or. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't happen often, but get fired.
Right.
Or quit.
Yeah. Or quit.
Yeah.
Find
Like,
a new
that's how
job,
you
something
get
like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and because like each list stays open for 2 years. So like
Okay.
the list I was on, I was number. Like I got lucky because they hired 4 guys off my list right away.
Oh wow.
Like
okay.
we needed people, and because I was number 6 on the list. But like it's also too like not like you could be the number 1 guy on the number 1 guy on my list. Didn't have like we require that you have your EMT license to get
Sure.
hired. He didn't have it.
Oh,
So
okay.
they passed over him. Like he still stays
Yeah.
number 1, but like they'll pass over you if you're not eligible to get hired,
Right.
and then
Until you.
if they have to hire again, they'll go back top of the list, and then if that
Yeah.
guy has it, which that's how that worked out for that guy.
Which I
because-
mean, he could be like you said, if you're going to a bunch of different stations, like he could have applied in East Peoria, Pekin, Bloomington,
Mm-hmm.
and just because he's number 1 on your guys' list doesn't mean that like he's going to take your
Right.
Like they might go, "Hey, do you want this job now?" And he's like, "No, I already work for Bloomington or whatever," you know.
yeah, like yeah,
right?
you could like so like you can be on. There's no limit. Like you can be on 10 different hiring lists if you want. Like you
Right.
can go test 10 different places and
Yeah.
get on every single list.
Right. I mean, it's like pretty much any other job at that point
Yeah.
for that specific
like
thing.
for you, if you went and applied at Lighthouse, but you also applied at 4 other car dealerships, and
Right.
2 of them offered you a job the same day, you could say, "No, I'm gonna go work for this one."
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
That's cool. What would you say your percentage when you go on calls are like actual house or not house but like fires? Because I feel like I feel like it's called the fire department, but a lot of times it's like the car wreck department or the high blood
department.
pressure
Uh-huh.
department or
Probably for like a calendar year, 80-20. Like 80,
Really?
80% being medical calls, car
versus
accidents, and the other 20% being
actual
true
fire.
fires.
Yeah.
Or like even fire. Well, yeah, true fires probably 10 or 20%.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because a lot of people call 911 when they don't need 911.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's even like outside of my career, I feel like that's a well-known thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like people know that.
I feel like I wouldn't call unless I was like, hey man,
Dying.
I got half my leg in that cornfield and the other half of my knee is touching my forehead.
Yeah, and the only reason I called is because that's the foot that touches the gas pedal.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah. Like,
Both my
gone.
legs are in the back seat of my car and I can't drive to the hospital.
Yeah.
Like
That's how I am.
right. So I mean obviously like I'm on Delavan, so we get the texts from the dispatch.
Right.
And there are some where I'm like, really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's like I have the same. We have an app that we use that we get all of our
Yeah.
notifications to, and it's
Which I mean, whatever mine is, yours is probably times 100.
yeah. I think since I've gotten hired, there's been where'd it go? Come on. Since I've been hired, that's what 20,018 calls in the city of Pekin since I've been hired.
That is crazy.
So yeah, and that's under. I'll have 3 years.
That's
in
all
January.
3 stations or just your
That's
station?
all 3 stations. The city of Pekin since I've been hired.
Yeah.
A little
That's
over
crazy.
20,000 calls.
You guys have separate tones, right?
Correct.
Each station has
Each
its own
station
tones.
has their own tones.
So just because station 3 gets put out on something, then I mean, do they just say like, "Hey, be ready"? Do they say
No, so like if station 3 gets a medical call, they'll just tone out station 3
yeah,
and
yeah.
like they'll send the engine, and then because like so station 3 has an engine and a ladder.
So
station-
no ambulance. So AMT runs everything.
Correct.
So they would send AMT and
And us,
see that's interesting to
because
me.
like 90% of the probably maybe more than 90 we get there before AMT does.
Yeah, which that makes sense because you're sitting there ready to go, basically.
Yeah.
But it just seems like, again, it seems weird to me that, like, it's its own separate entity, and I just don't understand why they don't just go do the medical stuff.
Like on their own.
Yeah. So AMT just transports?
Correct.
So it's just an Uber for people with broken bones disease?
Yeah, in a roundabout way.
Huh.
Like when I worked, and it was the same way when I worked at AMT. I worked in the Peoria market and Pekin. Peoria obviously busier.
Do you even have to, like, have a ton of medical experience then? Could you just go be a driver for AMT?
No, you have to at least be an EMT.
Why?
Because like so they go like
All I have to do is show up, and you're going to go do whatever work. All I got to do is put them in the back. I just need to know how to drive and be
You're still
strong.
taking care of them.
Not if I'm driving.
No, but like as an EMT though, you will take calls. Like the paramedic doesn't take every call. The paramedic is only going to take the calls that they deem necessary for paramedic skills. So
Yeah.
an IV, med, stuff like that. Like if you get a call for grandma fell at the nursing home, and because we get this all the time, someone will fall the nursing home because it's a rule. They just want them sent out to be evaluated to make sure they're okay.
Right.
All you're going to do is take grandma's blood pressure.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's an EM. That's all. That's what an EMT will do.
I got you. Yeah, that makes sense.
But like we run with them on all medical calls in case, like,
In case a fire breaks out.
no,
In case they decide
yes.
to spontaneously combust.
crazy. That'd be something.
Like, hey, I have heartburn.
Yeah.
I saw this.
He was here, now he's gone. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. He pointed his chest at the ceiling, and then I smacked him really hard with the hose. I didn't even spray any water.
I think Iron Man was here.
I saw this this clip on TikTok, and it was like, do you think zombies still have like the problems that we currently have? And there was just like this guy acting like a zombie, and he was kind of like bent over the bed, and he was making, zombie noises, and the other zombie was like, asked him what's wrong. He was like, heartburn.
I thought you were gonna go with something like, do zombies have a mortgage payment? That's where I thought you were going.
I mean, I feel like
Heartburn.
in the state of the economy, somebody's got to pay it.
Figure this thing out.
I don't know.
You know what? Speaking of zombies,
Call of Duty.
No, I was gonna say Happy Halloween.
Dude,
Because today's Halloween.
happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
What are you gonna be this year?
So, I don't know. Jen and I were going to.
That's scary.
Yeah, we're just gonna be ourselves. Terrifying.
Yeah.
So last year we started like.
It's a haunted house. Here's Greg.
Greg, go away.
No.
Anything
but Greg.
He's the worst.
Yeah. Give me Chainsaw Clown.
Poor Greg.
Yeah, Greg's like,
I
"Aw,
don't think I know any Gregs. But if I did, I'm sorry.
this is not a self-esteem boost.
Can I go home?
Can I go home?"
Like we were gonna do. Have you seen Parks and Rec?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
a
Burt
good
Macklin,
show.
great show.
Yeah.
You know Burt Macklin?
Yeah.
I was gonna be Burt Macklin,
Nice.
and then Jenna was gonna be Janet Snakehole.
Love it.
Yeah. So
That's
that's what we were
sick.
gonna do, but
Yep.
then obviously we got married, went to Cancun, and came back 2 days ago, so we didn't have time to get our costumes.
Classic.
So I don't know what we're gonna do. Honestly,
Just throw a Cowboys jersey on. That's scary.
and a bag over my head. It's
Yeah.
terrifying. Yeah. God, it sucks so bad.
Yeah, I'm assuming
I
there's-
stuck with him after the first couple of weeks when Dak was like, he's walking the town. He's like, go ahead and jump off. And
Can
was
I?
like, No, I'll stay with. I'll ride. And then I want to jump off now.
So we both like to sports guess for money, and
Yep.
I know I always
Yes,
say it,
sir.
I always say it that way because it's funnier. So for me, being a Celtics fan,
Mhm.
like there's kind of two things that suck because the Celtics are favored to win every single game they play.
Mhm.
82 games, they're favored to win all of them. And it usually makes it not super fun to bet on them because when they play like the Charlotte Hornets, it's like
Yeah.
I don't want to take minus 1,400 odds for them to win, you know?
Right.
But that's because the Celtics are really, really good,
Mm-hmm.
right? For you as a Cowboys fan right now, and I'm
Mhm.
not trying to poop on the Cowboys.
No,
I'm
do
just
it.
asking.
They need it.
They did beat my Steelers, and the Steelers are winning the Super Bowl this year, I heard. So I'm.
Alright.
That's just what I heard.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I heard. I don't know. I mean, who knows in the end? But that's
Yeah.
what I heard.
I mean, they are. They're killing it. Right
They're up there. They're up there with
What,
anybody
6
else.
6-2.
Yep.
Going into a bye week,
Yep. Russell Wilson's
tearing it up.
hashtag back.
Yeah.
Maybe Russell Wilson's back.
I think so. I think the
He's kind of hooping.
he's
He had like
nasty.
4 touchdown passes to George Pickens, and none of them counted.
That's what I love.
Before I get to the point that I was trying to make,
think I know what you're gonna ask.
2 feet have to land in the end zone for it to be a catch,
Uh-huh.
right?
Mm-hmm.
1 foot twice does not count.
Correct.
1 knee does count.
Correct.
1 hand, elbow does count.
Correct.
Or not hand. Because you
no,
can
not hand. Because you can hold yourself.
hold
up.
yourself.
Yeah. So like
so
it's
an
knee, elbow.
1 knee,
butt.
1 elbow, 1 butt, all count.
Yeah.
1 foot twice, no count.
Correct.
2 feet,
Couldn't tell you why.
2 separate feet do count.
So they were like I listened to the Pat McAfee show a
Uh-huh.
lot, and they were talking about this a couple days ago, and I think it was Jason Kelsey talked about it at halftime because that would have been the first touchdown of the game.
Right.
And
And
he talked
I
about
have
halftime.
Pickens on my fantasy team, so
Yeah.
needed it.
Right. Why that's the case, I don't.
It makes no sense.
It makes zero sense because, like, unless their thinking is okay, yeah, left foot down, he has control of the ball. If they think that the force from his right foot, because it's not even like it doesn't have to like make firm contact. The tip of his shoe
right.
could scrape a
You
blade
can
of grass.
you can slide
and
it
they're
in.
gonna call that
Yeah.
good.
Right.
So it's like. I feel like it's harder for him to touch the same foot twice than it is to not.
Yeah.
Because like, first of all, how's that possible?
I don't know.
How does the left foot hit twice
I don't know.
before your other foot touches, or vice versa?
Well, because he got pushed backwards after he caught it while he was in the
Right.
air because he jumped. So foot hits. His right foot hit.
Okay.
Left foot went up because of how he was falling, and then
And his right
before
foot-
his butt landed out of bounds, his right foot hit a second time.
Gotcha.
So there's There's a lawyer who was betting on the game and needed a George Pickens touchdown, and he is suing the NFL for some amount of money because essentially, I don't remember exactly what it was.
How much did he have on the?
I don't know, but
He's got bigger fish to fry. He's trying to sue the NFL.
He essentially is saying it's discriminatory against potential something because I don't know. There's a bunch of legal jumbo. Read into it. It's cool. Or just go on TikTok and look up
lawyer
suits over George Pickens, something like that. But
crazy.
I thought that was kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
So let me get back to my original point.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like for you? So obviously, I don't know how you view sports betting. The way that I look at it is like if I'm going to be watching a game, throw $2-3 on it, and then that way when, as I'm watching it, if Kevin Durant makes a 3-pointer and I need him to make 3 of them, I have something to get excited about, right? It gets me like into the game.
Yeah. Like a game you normally wouldn't.
In a game that I normally wouldn't watch, which I've been watching a ton more of since Maddie's been working nights, because I just come home and like, you've been gone, so can't hang out with you. Brock goes to bed early because
he's an old man.
He's an old man and he has to wake up at 2:00 in the morning to go to work.
Shut up, Brock.
Caleb's doing Caleb things. Parker lives in, I don't know,
Washington?
That's Seattle.
That's in Washington.
Well, yeah, but I'm not. Do you live in Illinois or do you live in Pekin?
Okay, but that's different, though. Because, like, we didn't know where he was at.
Oh, I knew where he was at.
Yeah, but it's to me, it seemed like you were having, like, for a second there, you couldn't remember it.
Oh,
and,
no.
like, my brain was set on, like, he lives in the state of Washington. And then I say that, you go, no, Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to think of something funnier than the actual place that he's at. Like Mexico or Uganda or something.
All right.
It hit in my head. Doss is down in Bama.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm just sitting at home alone, nothing to do. NBA's on. So I'll throw on the late game after the Celtics or whatever, sit down there and watch whatever. Suns Clippers. And I'm like, man, this is
something.
This is something. And it would make it more fun if I needed James Harden to get 40 points, rebounds, and assists.
Right.
So I'd throw a couple bucks on, and then that way I'm like, cool. My $2 turned into $35, and I feel like I accomplished something. Mm-hmm. That's the way that I look at it, right? Yeah. Some people are like, throw $500 on whatever game, and it makes no sense to me.
No, I operate the similar way. Like, I will do little $2-3 bets here and there, and then like I like doing the anytime touchdown ones for the NFL, and like
they give you a big boost on them.
College, yeah. Like I like doing them for NFL.
Oh yeah.
Except it's aggravating.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes it's like, oh yeah, you would think if I bet, these 6 players who are like the highest scoring players on each of their respected teams to score a touchdown, I'm gonna win $100. No.
Right.
Because they're gonna give the third string running back 47 touches that game for whatever reason. Because that's the day they decide that Tank Bigsby should run the ball for Jacksonville. That one still hurts.
Yeah.
Because I was an ETN touchdown away from like a lot. But like I only put like $10 on those.
Yeah.
And like that's the most I'll bet. Like I won't ever place a bet for more than 10, and I hardly ever do it.
I'll throw like $5-6 on something and be like, oh boy, this was a
financial decision.
It could be $10 for the Celtics to play a basketball game, and I'm like, it might not happen. Plane crash. I don't know.
There's a hurricane in Oklahoma City. Yeah, boy.
That's what would happen to me. But what is it for you with a team? Like, is it hard to bet on them to win, knowing that they might probably not?
I will never, for the rest of this season, put a bet on the Cowboys to win.
Okay.
because
But they probably have good odds to win.
Mm.
No?
I don't think like the rest of the year for the Cowboys is tough.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying
So like
good odds. I'm saying, like,
like
if they win.
right?
See, that's the... Because, like, usually if I'm trying to make a money line bet, it's like $5 would win me $5.76. And I'm like, that's not even worth it.
Yeah. I'm gonna lose 5.
Right. Yeah.
That's how I look at those ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's got to be probably pretty tough.
Yeah. I was just trying to find out. I'm just gonna look at the Cowboys schedule for the rest of the year and tell you why I'm not gonna bet on the Cowboys to win, because it's not great. It's like we have the Falcons next year, which Cowboys will lose.
Yeah, they're low key. The Falcons are low key kind of dirty.
We have the Eagles. Yeah, Kirko Chains is just tearing it up.
I like Cowboys versus the Eagles.
Eagles are gonna win that one, I would imagine.
Shout out Brett, but the Eagles suck.
I hate the Eagles. Caleb, love you, but yeah. Anyhow, then we play the Texans at home. We're gonna lose that.
Yeah.
The Commanders are just filthy right
Dude,
now.
the Commanders are on a heater.
And it's so annoying because, like, it makes sense why they're good. Dan Campbell, their head coach, who was our DC last year, and years before that, phenomenal coach. Like, gets the guys going.
Right.
Then you have Cliff Kingsbury, who is a just offensive mind guru.
Mm-hmm.
With Jaden Daniels, who he's just a dog.
Yeah.
He's a rookie, but he was a dog at LSU and still is. We should beat the Giants week 13. We'll probably lose to the Bengals week 14.
Yep.
I'd bet on the Cowboys to beat the Panthers. We'll probably find a way to lose. Then we have the Buccaneers, the Eagles again, and Commanders again.
Talking about
great.
sports teams, you want to do a draft?
Absolutely.
I'm thinking the way that we do the draft is, so we each have our own town, right? So you got Carrollsville, and I've got Bradyland.
Love it.
We're gonna pick from the 4 major sports. In my opinion, the 4 major sports: hockey, NFL, MLB, and NBA.
Yep.
And then for our 5th one, any college, not program, but any college sport team with their stadium or arena.
Oh, okay.
So
I could take, like, University of Massachusetts women's field hockey.
yeah, that'd be a great pick. That would be a great. You want that to be your first pick?
No.
Okay. So basically, what you're doing is you're taking them plus their fan bases and putting them in your city.
Okay.
So I'll let you have first pick because you're a guest on the pod.
Okay.
And
you said fans, stadium, is that it?
So you're getting,
Or like
their
the
fans, their stadium, their revenue, the good, the bad, the ugly. Like you could take the Yankees because they've got a really faithful crowd, but then you also have to put up with all the dirt bags that are, ripping balls out of Mookie Betts' glove.
People's, yeah.
Right.
All right.
So I'll let you take first pick here.
I think first pick, I'll take the St. Louis Cardinals.
Okay.
Just because baseball town.
Yep.
I mean, us both being Cardinals fans, we know it firsthand going to games and whatnot.
Yep.
That the Cardinal faithful are diehard fans.
Yeah.
Like, it is a baseball town.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's a great first pick. Because you're right. They are, almost to a fault, some of the hardest fans.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're getting your heads kicked in. They're fans.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great pick. For obvious reasons, my first pick, most storied franchise in NBA history, the Boston Celtics. They generate a ton of revenue. Their fans are diehard, to say the least. Bleed green, baby. So I feel like that's a fairly easy pick. With my number 2 pick, I'm gonna go Arrowhead.
Good pick.
and take the Chiefs because, again, they are like diehards out there.
Yeah.
And that stadium is nuts. It's huge. Have you seen it in person?
Oh, not in person, but like you can just tell.
Dude,
Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take the Chiefs as my NFL team, and it is now up to you. 2 picks.
I've been ragging on them. It's a tough year, but I'm gonna go AT&T Stadium Cowboys. Because same thing. Stadium is huge. Jerry's World is insane.
Yep.
Fan base.
Oh yeah, you have Ballpark Village too. I'd say for the Cardinals.
Yeah. Crazy.
Why not?
But like, they are like, and a lot of people hate Cowboys fans just because we're loud and we talk a lot about the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But like,
that means that you have a good fan base.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like even though this is a tough year so far, like everybody's still riding with them.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a tough year every year.
Honestly.
I mean, shout out Cowboys.
Yeah. Woo.
Your number
Wild
3
card
pick.
Weekend is my worst nightmare. Number 3. I got basketball and hockey left.
Yeah. Yep.
I think I'll go hockey. I think I'm gonna take the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
Okay. I like that.
I just feel like
it's a cool pick.
they haven't been around for a crazy long time.
Yeah.
But they're super good ever since they became a franchise.
Right.
And I just feel like the buzz around Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I really don't know a lot about Vegas, but to me it just seems like they've got a good fan base.
Yeah.
Like in the playoffs, I think every year since they've been in the league.
It's sweet. I like it. It's a good pick. I'll go. I got 2 here, so I'm going. I'm gonna go Dodgers. They just won a World Series. But I think that their stadium is sick.
Yeah.
They've got a really cool stadium. Also, they generate a ton of money, and I'm assuming that I'm taking fans from Los Angeles who also have a ton of money.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So pump people from Los Angeles into my town, which I'm not thrilled about because I don't love California, but we need money, and so far we've got small market Boston and small market Kansas City. So take our diehard fans and mix them with some money. For my NHL team, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Toronto, and take the Maple Leafs.
Yep.
And my thought process behind that is that hopefully I can get Drake to endorse us somehow,
That'd be cool.
and be like some kind of ambassador for the team.
Yeah. It'd be tough.
Because I just can't take another really small market. Because I was gonna go Blues, but I'm like, can't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming Toronto's probably got a pretty diehard fan base for NHL. So
Canada.
yeah,
I feel like it makes sense.
right. So bring him to Bradysville or whatever I said.
My
So
last
now
two,
you have
basketball in college.
yes, you have basketball in college.
So for NBA, I think I'm gonna take the Lakers.
Yep.
Similar stance.
Similar
'cause LA
similar beat
fan
to.
base.
Yep.
Yeah, bring in some big names.
You got LeBron on your team.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's
He
pretty cool.
generates
a lot of money.
boatload. A boatload of money.
Yeah.
So that's a solid pick.
Do you think? Random question. How much more money do you think they're bringing in now with his son being on the team?
Probably a lot.
You think that's kind of? I feel like
Not
I feel like it's a dumb question because I feel
not
like it's
yeah. I mean, not enough where it's like, wow, the Lakers are worth, however many more, whatever.
dollars.
Yeah, but I think, kind of back end, I'm sure they probably sold out every night anyway. The Celtics sell
Yeah.
out. The Celtics have sold out every game for the last 6 years.
Right.
So, also, it's crazy how much smaller like NBA stadiums are than like a football stadium where you can pack like 100,000 people in there, versus like the TD Garden's like, I want to say it's like 19 or 20,000.
That's it.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Which, I mean, Bush is like
42?
47 something, 40,
Yeah, something like
almost 50, I think.
Is it okay? Yeah, I just said the 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when we went, it was half of that was filled.
Yeah. And it
Crazy.
looked like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough time.
So, okay, so you got your basketball
Yep.
team. We
So
need an
college.
NFL team or college team. It's my first day.
Yeah, that's all right. You'll have that. I think I'm stuck between two. I think college, I'm going to take Notre Dame.
Great pick because it wasn't mine. Let's go.
Just because I think, like, as far as the fan base, like, storied
Yeah.
franchise, like,
Yeah.
they need to join. a
Sick
conference.
helmets.
But yeah, the uniforms are sick.
Their uniforms are so
They're just tough. And
Yeah.
they're clean, too. It's
Yeah.
like they're not, like, crazy over the top. Like, sometimes they've got the fun ones they do every, like, 1 or 2 weeks out of the season.
Yeah.
Like, mascot, though, he's a dog.
Yeah. Did you see the Tennessee black uniform unveil thing?
That video,
That
I
was
saw it last night.
their dude.
That is tough.
Their marketing team or whatever needs a race because
Yeah.
that was sick.
The one that I saw said that someone needs to give Tennessee's intern a job
Yeah.
now, which
Facts,
because that was tough.
I'm gonna go Michigan State.
Oh,
Football.
I was stuck between Notre Dame and Michigan.
I can't imagine how much money they make per year off that stadium.
It's their football team.
Yeah, right? Am I thinking of the right team?
What colors do you think they are?
Michigan State?
Yeah.
Like blue and yellow?
That's Michigan.
Which one has the bigger stadium? Doesn't one have
Probably
like
Michigan? So Michigan.
Oh, Michigan State's green.
They are the.
I want
Spartans. You want Michigan?
Michigan.
Yes.
They have like the biggest field,
The Loud House, I believe, is what it's called.
right?
Maybe. No,
Isn't
that's
it?
not the Loud.
Isn't it the biggest?
It's one of the biggest ones.
Can you look it up?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'm pretty sure it's not Michigan State. Michigan.
No, it's yeah. I thought you.
Michigan State.
You said Michigan
Spartans
State,
are
and I was
green.
like,
yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm good. Pass. Hard pass.
Hard pass.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Look up what the capacity of their football stadium is. It's something crazy.
Michigan Stadium, the Big House, not the Loud House. I think the Colts Stadium is Loud House. Michigan Stadium, the Big House, home of the Michigan football team, the largest stadium in the U.S. with a capacity of 109,901.
That's so crazy.
So, and like they talked about this.
110,000 people.
The Nittany Lions is second.
I mean, that's like, so take Bush, times it by 2, and add 15-ish.
Yeah.
1,000 people.
I wonder. You know what?
Yeah, that's a great pick, even though I said it wrong.
That's all right. I wonder now though. Yeah. So like Cowboy Stadium capacity, 80,000.
Wow.
So a college team is fitting
30,000 people more.
20.
You said 110.
Oh, you're right. My bad. Yeah, 30. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's on me. Yeah.
Green Bay's is huge too, right? I think theirs is gotta be Green Bay. I thought about Green Bay after I said the Chiefs, but I just can't do it. I hate Green Bay.
Green Bay is 81,441.
Okay, so it's about the same size.
I wonder what the highest now. Comparing to MetLife,
That's
where the Jets and Giants play,
yeah.
are the biggest NFL stadium by capacity, and it's still only 82,500.
Have you watched a Clippers game yet? A Clippers home game?
Nope.
So you know how they have their new stadium in the Intuit Dome?
Sure.
Their Jumbotron, 1,300 square feet. That's a house.
That's bigger.
It's
than my
bigger,
house.
right? Because it's like about the same size, I think, as my house ish, like a little smaller.
Yeah, it's like I'd say it's like 150, 200 square foot more than my house.
They have this thing called the Wall, where you have to be a Clippers fan. You have to like go register something like prove that you're a Clippers fan.
All right.
And then it's essentially a student section, and it's almost vertical. They've got like bars in front of the seats, and the bars say on them, they don't call them stands for no reason or something like that. Like, you're supposed to stand.
Yeah. Well, right, but that's just like cool, but also kind of terrifying.
Yeah, which I want to encourage you in your free time to look at it because it's nuts. They've got, I want to say like 1,200 bathrooms, like individual toilets.
That's wild.
They have all of the sections have like microphones in them, like the seats do, so that when they're doing like who's louder, section 118 or 134, they can actually tell who's louder based off the decibels that the section's putting out. They have a t-shirt cannon that can reach every single section. And what they do is they put the player up there super big on the huge Jumbotron. So the Jumbotron it's a circle that goes all the way around the court, basically. Like, it's that big. And then it's on the inside, too. So on the outside, they'll have their players throwing fake T-shirts, and it will look like their hand is hitting the top of the Jumbotron, and then a shirt flies out. Yeah. Out of a cannon that can just spin and hit all of the sections. So sick. That's so tough.
That's cool.
All the seats, like the armrest things, have lights, so they can throw up like blue and red lights everywhere. Also really tough.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so sick. You should watch like a billions. It's like a few billion. Just a couple B's. All I have is a couple C's.
For cents.
Yeah, for cents.
And not up here.
And bingo.
Yep.
But yeah, nuts. I think it's really cool.
That is super cool.
It's crazy how, like, I don't know, the technology that goes into stuff like that. And it is like, it's crazy what you can do in a stadium like for basketball that's indoors versus the different changes that you have to make for one that's open.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. You can't put a 1,300 square foot Jumbotron in the center of, like, the Chiefs Stadium because there's no roof there.
Yeah.
You know? Like.
Well, yeah. And then I was trying to think how big, because Pittsburgh's, their screens, obviously they're all huge.
All the screens are huge.
But I feel like, I don't know, for some reason I thought Pittsburgh had the biggest one.
I think
with an open stadium.
Oh, with an open stadium, I could see that. I think Dallas's is the biggest in football.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure. They like to do everything's bigger in Texas, I heard.
Yeah.
Out of my 3 favorite teams, I don't really have. I guess I'll say my favorite hockey team is the Blues, just because Brock really likes them, and I really like Brock. So
it's fair. Yeah.
But the I've only been to Busch Stadium. I've never been to a Steelers game. I've been to Celtics games, but only in Chicago, Indy, Memphis.
Never in Boston.
I've never been to a Celtics game in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, I've obviously been to Busch.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been to AT&T.
It
for
sucks.
Basketball, I like Boston because you like Boston.
Hey.
And I like you. That was terrible. That's better.
I stopped looking.
Oh, okay.
I put all my trust that you'd connect.
I stopped.
It does kind of suck being a visiting fan or a fan of the visiting team. Like going up to Chicago and being, like one of a very few, which the Celtics do travel extremely well. So do the Steelers, I've heard. Like,
I can see that.
When they played in Las Vegas, it looked like a Steelers home game. Like, after the game, they were like, hey, Justin Fields, what was it like playing at home but on the road? And he was like, it was pretty sick. But, yeah, pretty cool. But, like, I mean, it's like a mile walk from where we had to park to get into the United Center. And the whole walk, it was just heckled people, like, just, you know.
Which is crazy.
Why don't you go back to Boston with your car keys? And I'm like, die.
It's crazy that, I don't know, and I think of that as, like, the Bulls suck.
Yeah, the Bulls are terrible.
So it's crazy to me that, I mean, obviously they're heckling because they're in Chicago. It's their
Right.
team.
I mean, what am I going to do? Fight
70,000.
I'm going to go fight 24,000 Bulls fans?
Right.
Like, no.
See, but obviously the Bulls won. Or the Bulls lost. I'm sorry. So obviously the Celtics won. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
See, but now the whole way out, if I was you, I'd be walking, be like, oh, I got my car keys.
Yeah.
Just
my car
hold that
keys.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this? It's an L.
Oh.
Hold this L for me. Yeah.
Along with the 90 other that we've given you.
Yeah. Get worked.
That are so bad.
You got any, oh, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking about today? You know how,
Nope.
People are always like, I don't like rap. I can't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Older people always be like, I can't understand what they're saying. I think that it's not as much that they can't understand what they're saying, it's that they don't understand what they're saying.
Yes.
So, like, the example that I'm thinking of is, like, when Future calls a gun a stick, right? Like, there's just so many different things in rap where they use, you know, like, different terminologies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where if you don't know, it like, they might as well be speaking Spanish. Because it's like, you're using terms that you have no idea what they're talking about.
Right.
You know? I think that's why. Because,
yeah, I could see that.
Like,
that makes sense.
If you actually, and there are people that you actually can't understand. Like, Young Thug is like, better, and it's like, yeah. But, like, I think it's more of you just you actually don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, you're not comprehending it.
I could see, yeah.
Versus, like, does that make sense?
Not knowing what they're saying. Right. No,
it's not that you can't understand them. It's that you don't understand them.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. But I was listening to a Drake song today, and I was like, oh, I wonder if, like, you know, because he's just chucking out whatever random terminology that makes sense to me because I know what he's talking about.
Right.
But then it's like, but I think if, you know,
like,
if my dad was listening to this, he'd be like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. My dad would be the same way.
Yeah. But, I don't know.
I guess maybe not. Back in the day, Tim was a big old, like, NWA, Ice Cube, like, all that back. Like, that was... The Tim he is now is not the Tim he was back then.
Yeah.
He's evolved. He's a different creature now.
Evolved. Hey.
Hey.
You catch any Pokemons down there in the Cancun? Down in the Cancun? Did you play it at all?
I did one day.
I sent you a gift and you didn't open it, so I can't send you another one. Get in there.
Didn't know that you did that.
Get in there and open the thing. So I could...
Now?
No. Later.
I did once. Like, if I actually wanted to legitimately, like, play, I would have had to have walked up and down the entire beach, and that might have been the day that the whiskey sours were hitting a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, in Cancun, if you ever go there on an all-inclusive, go to Walmart or wherever and buy a fake Stanley or a fake Yeti cup, like the big ones, because you can just give it to them and they'll fill that thing up.
Right.
And like if you say, "Hey, I want a little more alcohol,"
Yeah.
They will give you more alcohol.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Instead
not,
of
if you
drinking
save
out a little. Yeah.
it ain't a little.
Right.
And I did that day.
And then you were.
And it didn't hit me until about 4:30 in the
Dude,
afternoon.
it was so funny. Jenna and I don't talk throughout how me and you just send thoughts or texts or whatever, snaps back and forth.
Yeah.
It has to be something that's pretty important, pretty intentional for Jenna to have to. And she was like, she sent me a text and she was like, I think Michael's trying to send you a Snapchat, and I don't think that he's figuring it out. I was like, what? And then literally, probably 45 seconds later, I get a Snapchat from you, and I mean,
was I over the table like this?
Yeah, you were leaned over the table, just mouth open, and it was I could see half your mouth, and it was just your upper teeth and then up your head. And you said, I mean, I needed a degree in
that was a tough day.
Whatever English language arts to figure out what you were trying to say to me. And then you sent a follow-up snap immediately after. It looked like you hadn't moved at all. And you go, hey, I'm kind of feeling these whiskey sours. And I'm just like, yeah, no shit.
Couldn't tell.
I was like, oh. You seem like you're high and tight, bud. You're doing good.
We had that night.
Yeah.
That was so earlier that day. We texted our butler. It's
right.
not a butler. It's just the person you text to set up your dinner reservations. And we set up a reservation for 7:30. It was 7:15. And I was still in swimming trunks, and Jenna was still in her swimsuit cover, and we're like,
yeah.
What are we doing? Because she was also tore up, except she was the level of to where she could put a fake face on at dinner and not look drunk. Me? No. I was.
You couldn't spell face.
No. I couldn't look at my own.
Yeah.
There's 4 of them. But actually,
it's so funny.
Fun fact, when it all hit me when we were sitting on the beach, we were talking to an old couple from Boston.
Really?
Yep.
I met people from Boston when I was there.
Were they old?
No, they were super young.
It'd been crazy if it was the same people.
Yeah. But I was like, hey, man, seems like you got an accent. Where are you from? He was like, Boston.
Boston?
And I was like, I go, hey, we're doing pretty good in the playoffs. Because it was, I think, the round before the finals. Yeah, nope, it was not. It was the...
You weren't down there.
Was it the Cavs series, maybe? It was the series... I don't know. It was the series before the Eastern Conference Finals. Because I remember watching the Eastern Conference Finals here. Yeah, But I was like, hey, we look like we're doing pretty good. He was like, I don't watch basketball. And I was like, you're from Boston? You don't watch Boston basketball? Like, what? What do you mean?
Crazy.
That's like, what?
That is, yeah.
What else do you do? Just watch the Red Sox? Boring.
Yeah. Why?
They're not good.
Nah.
That is
weird. Because, this guy, he had a New England Patriots Yeti. He was drinking out of.
Yeah.
I had my Dallas Stars hoodie on.
Yeah.
So he asked me,
You wearing a hoodie?
It was windy.
Brother.
I didn't have a shirt underneath of it. No, you understand. So, you went in May. In the middle of summer to Cancun.
Oh, May is the middle of the summer.
Close.
Really?
If you think about it. I guess it's the middle of the year. Maybe not summer.
Interesting.
What?
That you're wrong.
Anyhow. We didn't have... Shut in.
And I guess you went in the middle of the winter, right?
Close.
Since you just got back, October is about the middle of the winter.
No.
Okay, got you. I mean, December's coming up.
I'll bite you right now.
I'm here for it.
Anyhow, it was a cloudy day, and there was 20-mile-an-hour winds.
Okay.
And Also,
So it got all the way down to like what, 78?
No, but you just listen.
I can't.
All right. Anyhow, we were talking about. He asked me about hockey because the Stars have about like a guy that used to play for Boston.
Yeah.
So we started talking about that, and then he and I just like sat. We were just shooting the shit for 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think, we got on the topic of we asked him like if he was like a Boston sports guy through and
Right.
through.
Yeah.
And he said for everything except for baseball. And I meant to text you this and I forgot. Take a stab at how many Celtics games this guy's been to. From Boston, still lives there. Probably 65?
4. None.
Lots more.
Okay. The way you set it up made it seem like I was gonna say a really large number, and then you were gonna say a really small one. So I tried to swerve.
And it might not even don't let this deter you from your guess, because like to you and I, it's gonna seem like a crazy number, but I guess to someone from Boston, it's not crazy.
Yeah.
But like,
3,000.
no.
That's not an unreal for
No,
someone that's
for someone
65
that's
that's
lived
lived their whole
yeah.
life. It's not an unreal number.
So like, I'll just
500.
You're getting closer. I'll just tell you because there's a little more. So like 173.
Why does he know that?
Huh?
So you have you get like a.
He has every ticket from every game he's ever been to. He told me. Now, granted, this is everything he told me. I believed him. I don't know. I didn't have a reason not to.
Yeah.
He has a picture of him with Larry Bird. Larry Bird signing his jersey.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
He is a bot. Like, so that's like what you saying that reminded me of it, because like that guy from Boston doesn't watch basketball.
Right.
But this guy's like,
yeah. How do you
Boston through and through?
Yeah.
But he's a super cool guy.
You like being from St. Louis? You're like, I don't. Cardinals?
Yeah.
I don't know. How are they doing this year?
Yeah.
Shut up. Well, you got anything you want to talk about?
One thing, real quick.
Okay.
How expensive is I'm gonna butcher this, like Dolce and Gabbana stuff?
Expensive.
Okay. Real quick,
More than what we can afford.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So flying back,
Uh-huh.
we were in first class again.
Uh-huh.
We did not belong up there.
Uh-huh.
Like flying there, they gave us warm towels, and we were like, we watched to see what other people did, because we were
You're like, can I get a cold one? And they're like, what?
no, why are you up here?
Like, shut up.
This guy, so like sitting next to us,
Uh-huh.
had Dolce and Gabbana shoes on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I know that like the brand.
Right,
name.
yeah.
I was like, yeah, those are not cheap. Like,
I mean,
I'm not going to Ross and getting those.
you're probably talking like thousands, not hundreds.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
Um.
I don't know which ones they were or anything, and I don't really know a ton about them.
No, I could find.
But
them,
I'm assuming you're probably talking more closer to thousands than hundreds.
Yeah. And then his wife.
Uh-huh.
They were probably mid-50s, I would say.
Uh-huh.
They've done well in their lives.
Sure.
The ring
Yeah.
on his wife's finger
Uh-huh. Brought the plane down.
could have.
Dude,
I'm talking generational wealth for a family. Like, this thing was like, I'm trying to find something to compare it to, because like it was absurd. Like,
yeah.
I probably stared at her ring on her finger for
Yeah.
a total of 5 minutes, 10 minutes that plane, because like it was just like,
Yeah.
like you can't, like you won't go to K and see a
Right.
ring that's
Yeah.
Like,
that's like a
yeah, like.
he paid someone to go into
Someone
a mine
showed up,
and get it
Yeah,
for him.
and then came to his house in a blacked out SUV
Yeah.
with an armored briefcase
Yeah.
and said,
Your ring, Squire.
Yeah.
There was when we were in
nuts.
Cancun, there was a bunch of restaurants at our resort, which I'm
Yep.
sure is probably about the same for you. And one of them was a buffet,
Mhm.
and that's like the buffet is where you ate breakfast every day.
Okay.
So you just go down there and get your breakfast. And we were sitting there one morning, and you didn't really have like they sat you at tables.
Yes.
So we had to sit like pretty close to another table, and Maddie had her ring on. Whenever we went to like out to eat, we always put our rings on. I guess when we
Mhm.
took them off, we put them in the safe. Whenever we got there, like if we were going out on the beach or whatever, I'm not trying to lose my ring in the ocean. Like,
Right.
it's stupid. But there's a lady sitting right next to us that looked over and looked at Maddie's ring and then looked at her husband, and we were like pretty close. We're just sitting there eating, and she was like, looked at her husband, and was like, "When do I get my 10-year or whatever like extra band or something like that?" 'Cause I was like,
that
I was
man
like,
hates
yeah,
you.
yeah. I was like, that's such a flex. Like, that's so sick. I was like,
That guy never met you. You guys probably never even saw each other the rest of the time you were there, but he just was fuming.
oh yeah, he's so mad. Yeah. Like
Never hated a person more in his life that he's never known.
Facts. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
That is funny.
Well, we've casted a pod.
Yeah.
We're at an hour and 10 minutes before we take anything out, which I don't know if there's really anything to take out. I feel like we did pretty good. What do you guys think? I can't hear you. Ha ha ha. But yeah, I don't know.
Some fun. It's different being on this side.
Now you get to experience what we feel, because normally you're sitting back there.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, what's it like up here? Do you like it up here?
It's not bad.
Did you feel kind of nervous about?
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's about being.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
We did the first couple ones that we did.
It just like was weird too.
Yeah. Well, and you're being recorded, and you're like.
Right.
Yeah. You kind of don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
For like, there's a lot of just kind of unknowns when you're the one that has to figure out how to talk for an hour. But
at the same time, it's not crazy bad because it's
right.
I'm
I mean,
talking
this
to
is
you.
right. This is not something that we wouldn't just do anyway.
Right.
But yeah,
We're just recording ourselves.
right. Which the recording element does add a little bit of like it feels like it feels like there's however many hundreds of people that listen, like just in the room with us,
Just
like
stacked.
right. Like you have to pay attention to what you're saying. You have to, there's,
Right.
all that stuff where it is kind of weird, but I definitely can tell from my perspective, like the first whatever episodes that we did, there wasn't anybody, or we didn't record the first episode that we did, and we didn't know if there'd be anyone who would listen,
Yeah.
So like that was kind of different. And then we started recording it and it got more different. And then, now it's to the point where it's like, you kind of get into a routine and it feels natural.
Mm-hmm.
But like, no, I remember just, it's kind of awkward is the best way to say it. 'Cause we are talking to however many people are listening.
Right. It's not just
and they're just not here.
Yeah.
Like we're pre-recording a conversation for hundreds of different people to ingest.
A lot of who I've never met.
Yeah.
So that might be the other weird thing too, is like hearing myself.
Yeah.
Talk, which I hate.
Yeah.
That's just something I don't like. I've always been like that. Like I don't like hearing myself.
Yes.
But also the amount of people that are going to hear this that I have no idea who they are.
Right. Which it's weird hearing yourself talk, but so obviously this is our 15th episode.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten to the point now where I just understand that like it is pretty much just how I sound.
Yeah.
Like I think that's a hard thing to
you're not
wrap your
trying
mind
to-
around, cuz like I don't know.
No, I get it,
You only hear yourself while you're talking to someone. You don't ever hear yourself getting talked to. Like
Yes.
you're never the one talking to yourself.
Like-
I mean, I guess you can be, but you're
like,
still
You're hearing yourself
hearing it.
now,
right.
but you're not processing
Right.
that.
Yes.
Then you're going to play it back and you'll be like,
Right. Yes. And you're like, man.
awful.
Yeah. No, there are definitely times where I'm talking and I'm listening to it like in the car or whatever, or I try and listen to it like right as it comes out in case there's something that
Needs to be fixed.
needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
We can fix it. But like, there's definitely times where I'm listening and I'm like, that's weird. Why did I say that? Or like, Why?
What's wrong?
Yeah, God, your laugh is ugly or whatever. Like,
Just talking to yourself.
yeah,
down.
I'm just sitting in the car like I hate you.
That tree looks cool. Every time I pull up in the fire truck, I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm just turn that down.
Yeah, right. I love that meme where it's like, what happens after a car wreck, and it's just like, yeah, some song, yeah,
H-O-T-G-R-G-R. Just upside down.
Yeah. I also dude when there's those memes that are like, Machine Gun Kelly, your music saved me. I was paralyzed, but you came on the radio, and I got up to turn it off. That's how people feel about our podcast. Like it came across my Spotify and I got undisabled so I could. All right. The old Midwestern goodbye. All right. It's been a dream. It's been real. It's been fun.
It's been real fun.
Okay. We love all of you. Come up with some kind of something right now on the spot to say before I say peace.
Thanks everybody for listening and hanging on for 15 episodes so far.
Whoop.
Caleb should be back.
Yep.
And you
Caleb's...
will not have to look at my face again because I'll be.
Unless you want to.
I guess there is.
Because he is scared to set up a second camera. So if we can get enough people to give him a confidence boost and tell him that he looks so cute behind the camera.
It's not scared. It's my thing is that I'm gonna be back there in my own little world, and for 20 minutes, everybody watching is just gonna see me like,
just mouth breathing, overstimulated.
Just back there, just being an absolute goober. That's my thing. I don't care. Like, I guess if you guys would like to see this, I don't know why you would, but if you want to see
we
this,
do.
Running the ones and twos.
Tell us
Let
about
this
it.
guy know.
Tell
let
us
Caleb
about
know.
it.
But thank you. It's been fun.
All right. Peace.
Goodbye.